a match of Zelda 2 Randomizer, and we're going to be getting started any second now. We are running tournament Swiss flags, so we're going to have Zelda, Link 77 as Zelda in the top left, Amazing Toaster as Link in the top right, Thorwolf as the Iron Knuckle Dark Nut in the bottom left, and Dr. J PhD as the Stalfos in the bottom right. Yeah, haven't seen Dr. J PhD in a while. It's good to see him back racing. He's a very good racer.
Hello, everybody. I'm Styx. Nice to have me here.
Nice for you to be here, Styx. It's good to have another commentator. And this is your first Zelda 2 commentary, right?
Yes, it is.
So have you played much Zelda 2 Randomizer?
No, I haven't played the randomizer. I'm a vanilla runner.
Oh yeah, well, it's a little different. It's a little more random here.
I've watched a lot of it though before.
All right, so we have Link 7s getting jump in I believe Rauru, and he already has the boots too. Now jump is very useful in Grand Palace to get through the waffle rooms. It can also be required. It's possible you'll need to go through Jump Cave in that direction to pass through, although not terribly likely. Link 7s is pulling mountain, just checking the first couple of entrances. I don't expect him to dip any deeper than these first couple of entrances, just because he's at level 111 with no downstab yet. Jump, the spell, will be very useful in getting downstab, which makes the rest of the game like a million times easier. But he's doing okay without it. If he gets his Red Dara kill, that will be some good experience, but not enough strength to get it before he pushes it off the screen. It's an interesting play for him, going for Death Mountain first. Could pay off. It's definitely a gamble. Now, it's actually possible that you can need to go through Death Mountain, because you can go through one cave and not the other. And that has been required in a few races, although it's very rare. A lot of racers tend to not go to Death Mountain just because the chances that will happen, or the two items are required, is a little remote, and it's a big time investment. Meanwhile, Thorwolf is checking the forest tiles, probably looking for Bagu's letter, and Dr. J PhD getting life, a very useful spell, although not required.
My stream seems be a little bit behind. How do I get caught up?
You could try to refresh it. Wow! Dr. J PhD is already at attack level 3. That's going to be a big help compared to some of these other racers. That has a big EXP pickup, and he's going to be very glad that he got it. And getting Magic 3, that's also going to be pretty big, because once he finds Fairy, he's going to have a much easier time than the other racers going through palaces. And he's picking up the kid in Medicine Cave. That's going to let him get the Darunia magic spell, which we haven't seen Thunder yet, so it could be required. And we're seeing Dr. J now entering the P-Bag Cave. Not necessarily going to be a P-Bag this time around, though. Could be something very useful, very necessary. Now, the boots that these racers have in their inventory actually can also be required. There have been a lot of cases where, especially when you go to the eastern continent, something critical will be hidden behind a cove or behind a river somewhere. And a few times you can't even make it all the way through Maze Island without the boots. But the Randomizer is capable enough to get you through all of that with no problem. I mean, it'll route the game to compensate for all that. Very, very, very rarely do we have races that aren't completable.
Dr. J got a pee bag.
Yep, that's... Well, with the other experience he picked up in addition to that pee bag, he's picking up attack 4. That's going to make things really nice for him. And once he gets down stab from the jump spell in Raru, he's going to be slaughtering these enemies on this continent. And of course, that's going to help him go faster, which is going to help him pick up even more ahead of the other racers. Although without Fairy or a magic key, entering a palace is kind of a fool's errand. I believe some of the palaces might be completable without a key, but it's just so much of a time sink that you wouldn't want to do it, except for maybe Palace 1.
Yeah, they definitely want a key or a fairy right now.
And we have a raft on Amazing Toaster's side, getting it in Heart Container Cave. That raft is something that a lot of racers look for because not only is it completely required in a seed like this where you have to place all the gems, and the palaces are 4 each to a continent, including Great Palace and Northern Palace. So you do need the raft to even beat the game, but it also gives you the option of going to the other continent and picking up a lot of experience through the P-bags. There's a lot of P-bags that appear in places throughout that continent, and they're all pretty high. Although Link 7's getting the magic key in Medicine Cave, and that is going to allow him to jump into palaces. Although no glove yet, so it's still a little bit of a risk to do so. And it looks like Toaster's going to pick up the magic key too. And I believe Dr. J PhD has he's in Medicine Cave, leading Medicine Cave, so I believe he also has the raft.
Yes, he does.
And Beowulf's going to be picking it up now, too. Now, common strategy in these races is to clear out as many of the overworld locations as possible, because the sooner you can rule out what you have to do, the sooner you can pretty much just take the game on cruise mode. There's only 6 palaces that have items in it, right? So that's 6 items that could be in palaces, but there's so many locations in the overworld that could have items. So it's better to get the items in the overworld first, so that you don't waste minutes trying to look for a single item in the palaces.
Yeah, you don't want to die palaces unless you absolutely have to.
Mm-hmm. And on the same respect, that's why a lot of racers, they prefer palace... let's see, 3, 4, and 6, because to get to the palace rooms, the item rooms in those palaces, you enter going in the same direction as the boss. So you can stumble upon the boss room, the item room, while going to the boss. So that's why a lot of racers prefer those. Of course, there also tend to be glove blocks in all of those palaces.
That's interesting information. I didn't know that.
Yeah, in Palace 1 and 5, there's no potential glove box, but you have to enter the item room going to the left. Now in Palace 1, there's not a whole lot of room, so that's not a big deal, but Palace 5 is the biggest palace in the game, so yeah, you kind of have to look at the palaces a little bit differently in this compared to a vanilla race. It's kind of an assessment of probabilities.
Nightcrawler's in a palace right now. Looks like 3.
That's Dr. J PhD.
Sorry about that.
No worries. You can call me anything you want.
Palace 5. He's fighting Guma now.
Yeah, he's a brave one. Although with 4 attack, that he's been picking up. I think I mentioned earlier when he was getting those attacks. It's going to be easier. He's close to the kind of attack level that most racers finish the game at, so this is certainly possible. And taking out the hardest boss in the game, you know, that's just
like
one
you have
less
a
thing
lot
to
of
work on.
HP right now.
Oh yeah, their HP can be randomized up and down up to 50%, so they can be weaker, but in this case, it looks like he rolled stronger. Making good use of that life spell. Looks like he's going to make it through the... Oh, nope. That's the risk of taking on Boskuma early. And the hard part about that is losing all that time invested in killing Boskuma.
Therwolf seen 5 and said nope.
Yep. Honestly, going into Palace 5, I'm gonna... I mean, Dr. J PhD is a great runner, but that is a little bit of a questionable decision because he still has the entire Eastern continent to check.
He's looking like he's bailing.
If he was bailing, he'd go up and he would up and out of here. Well, he does have a lot of experience. I think he's looking for the item. Oh yeah, that's another difference between the randomizer and the vanilla game. When Dig Shakers programmed the randomizer, he implemented a flag that's used in almost every Zelda 2 randomizer race, which is the ability to, like in Great Palace, reset at the start of any normal palace. So one of the main complaints that people have about Zelda 2 is kind of addressed in this, and racers will use it to their advantage in every way possible.
Yeah, that's definitely a great feature.
Mm-hmm. Although Dr. J does stumble upon the ferry block in Palace 5. That's one block I don't always think about. We got Link exploring a new town, Link 7's. Getting his down stab. That's going to make things much nicer for him. And Thorolf is probably going to be doing the same. Yep, here goes Thorolf getting his down stab. So I hate to say it, but unless there's a crucial item that Dr. J PhD is picking up in Palace 5, I think this detour is gonna cost him. Amazing Toaster exploring the swamp. I believe he's still in the Western continent. Well, Dr. J, at least finishing off that level. So that's nice, but with no... I don't know what he's expecting to find there in that corner. He has a magic key. Yeah, I guess he was betting on the fact that he can finish Palace 5 without Fairy, but he couldn't. He didn't defeat the boss, and to get the item, he needed Fairy. So. Hopefully he'll remember where Boskuma was the next time he drops in.
Yeah, it didn't seem like he was too far in.
Yeah. That's one problem I have when I do half of a palace. Oh, they found GP. Link 7's found GP, and I believe he's still in Western. Yeah. I have that problem when I race. Starting a palace, doing part of it, coming back, an hour later and not remembering half of it. Turns out you need to remember all of it. Dr. J taking the raft across, which is a good decision. None of the other racers have found any other crucial items on the Eastern continent, so this could help get him some time back. And of course, in this randomizer, just so everyone's on on the level here, we got the goal of defeating Dark Link. However, to do that, in these flags, you will have to defeat Thunderbird. And of course, you're going to need to defeat Karok because you need to place all the gems with these flags, which means you need Reflect. So you need Reflect, Thunder. You probably need Fairy, although it's not 100%. You probably need the Glove, although it's not 100%. And you'll definitely need the Raft. And with these flags, you'll also need the Flute and possibly the Hammer. But yeah, everything else...
The Flute is new, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. Dig Shake did an update a few months ago, and he added the Hidden Palace and Hidden Town back into the game as a randomizer feature. And so that means the Flute is now going to be required in every single race that uses that flag, because every single race is going to have Hidden Palace. Before then, it was only occasionally required when the River Devil got in the way. Usually the River Devil is pretty useless. There's actually a Twitter account, like Rate My River Devil or something like that, and he just put up embarrassing pictures of the River Devil not doing his job.
Amazing Toaster found GP now.
Yeah, and Third Wolf is in Trophy Cave. I don't think I've seen this, but I might have missed it earlier. No, picking up a magic container. Looks like Link Sevens might have found that then, because he has 5 bars. Now, that can actually be required, because you might need to get an item in New Kasuto from the magic container lady, and you might need those magic containers to meet her requirements.
And that could be randomized too, right?
Yep. The randomizer can set it to, I believe, in between 5 and 7 magic containers required to get the item, and of course the item is randomized too. It's pretty disappointing when you get a P bag or something, or worse, a free life.
Yeah, that's what Link's just got.
Oof. And Mason Toaster just got a free negative life, unfortunately, a nego life. Maybe he was just defeating his own ghost in that cave.
Amazing Toaster takes the death. Falls in the lava.
Oh yeah. Does Dr. J still not have downstab? Oh, he doesn't have jump yet. He doesn't have fairy yet. He's doing Eastern without downstab. It can be done, but
he's leveling up very nicely, though, DJ.
Oh yeah. Yeah, his levels are pretty good. Attack level 5 is pretty sick for this point in the game. That's the kind of attack level that a lot of racers finish the game at. And we're only 18 minutes in. At this point, he'd probably just focus on magic.
Yeah, just start up A-ing whenever he completes palaces.
Mm-hmm. Well, he's definitely pushing the envelope here. I think he's got the exploration lead, although without downstab, I can foresee this lead slipping away.
Yeah, that's going to be costly for him.
If he makes it to Maze Island first, that could be pretty nice, because and he's at the coast now. Maze Island's got 2 items in a palace. Oh, Link 7's found it first. Or maybe I wasn't paying attention when Dr. J found it before. But yeah, Maze Island's pretty great, especially when you have the boots, because you can skip a lot of forced encounters with the boots. Oh, we have Thunder on Thurwolf, and that was in Old Kasuto. So you don't need any spell items to get Thunder, although nobody's found Reflect yet. So we could still need a special spell item.
Yeah, it's nice for Thurwolf to have Thunder and have that pretty much taken care of.
Mm-hmm. And unlike in vanilla, it can actually be really nice to have some of these late game spells early. It can really change the game up for you, whether you can cast them, if you can cast them, that is. I kind of feel like Link 7's is retreading old ground, but here he's on a new path now. He's found one of the items. Medicine, that could be important. I mean, heck, maybe that leads to fire-linked Thunder. I'm always rooting for that. And we have the hammer on Link 7's side, and that's great for him because that means he can get into New Kasuto once he finds it. Or let's call it the Matic, because come on, you don't chop trees down with a hammer. Let's be real. Unless it's a petrified forest, then I guess you smash the trees with a hammer. Now that would be nice, a petrified forest in this game. Maybe I should do that. Check the trees, dude! Link! You see them? Unless you already checked.
Hammer opens up the boulder in Death Mountain, too.
Yep, opens up the boulder in Death Mountain. Opens up possibly, I think it's anywhere between 0 and 2 caves on Western. And also necessary for finding New Kasuto. But Link 7's and Thurwolf are both in Palace 1. This is such a simple palace that everyone's going to look for, well, unless you're in Go mode, aka full Big Shake, everyone's going to be looking for the item here, because it only takes a few seconds usually.
Yeah, quick item, easy boss.
Oh no, I missed the Clutch Fairy! The nice thing about this is that they've already gained a decent number of levels, so when they defeat Horsehead, they're going to get a lot of experience from turning in the gem.
Dr. J's in Palace 3, right?
Let me
4.
see. Yeah, but no, he wouldn't go in 4, would he? He needs Reflect. He wouldn't do that. I hope.
No, that's 3.
Yeah, okay, that's good. I should know this. The windows don't change in the palaces. The windows don't change, and the pillars don't change.
Link 7th is in the item room.
Yeah, disappointing item room, sadly. And I think Dr. J PhD also had... Oh, Dr. J PhD picks up the flute. It's going to help with his treacherous Eastern Continent exploits, being able to at least bypass the River Devil, which I think is actually blocking correctly. Although it's not necessarily the only way to the other side. There could be a magical passer cave, you could be able to take a river across, you could be able to go across the ocean. Because with the boots in the randomizer, you can actually step on any water tile as long as it's not directly on the edge of the map. Alright, Very easy horse head. Not only is he the Glass Joe of Zelda 2, but he's sick. So I just feel bad for him at this point. And we got Dr. J PhD in his boss room. Rubenak, definitely Palace right now. I think he's positioned incorrectly, though, for this trick. Oh, he doesn't have downstab. Never mind. Well, it's more fun to watch Rubenak fights without downstab. It's so epic, dude. 8 bits of epic. Ah, the horse.
More of a talent.
Yeah. And with level 5 attack, getting the horse out of there didn't take that many hits. I think just 3. Ooh, don't take another hit. And you got life, dude. Oh my god, no. Link, you picked up life 6. Oh no, and Dr. J! Why did you cast life? Ah. That's like a waste of a minute and a half, probably. That's sad.
Easily.
He's doing so well.
He's got to do the whole fight again.
I need to pay more attention to Amazing Toaster. I've been like ignoring him this whole race. We also have a hint system in this new version of the randomizer, so that's why you see them looking through the towns and talking to people, talking to walls, you know, the normal thing that heroes do. Link 7's trying to get the clip. Don't blame it on my Zelda sprite. It just changed the visuals, Link. Just go normally. Link, I think it's time to go the normal way. Dude. Oh, I better not hear him blaming my Zelda sprite. If anything, not being able to get the clip proves that my Zelda sprite's superior. Oh, he got it. Fine.
Yeah, you wasted a lot of time on that.
Well, at least it's learning a skill, right?
That's very true.
Yeah, maybe it's just me, but like I don't play very differently when I use alternate sprites. But I've had some people tell me that, you know, they find it a little bit difficult to get some things. It's just the visuals that change, but sometimes, you know, your individual technique might rely on, you know, where the back heel on your character is or something. And if that changes, because Zelda has smaller feet hidden by an address, then...
You would think it would be the same, though.
Well, yeah, it is the same. It's just more a matter of... Oh,
Perception.
gets jumped. Yeah, it's just a matter of perception. Now, upstab actually isn't required anymore. Not technically. There is a potential upstab block in GP, and there's 2 rooms. You can get both of them. They look exactly the same, although the enemies will be a little bit different in them usually. They're only upstab blocks if you enter from the right and exit on the left. But while it's easier to use upstab, there's now a trick to get through it without upstab. So you do need jump, which they have. I'm not going to be the kind of guy who's going to go for that trick personally, because it takes a little while and it's tough, but it is possible. So technically there are no upstab blocks anymore if you have jump. But I would still get upstab because I'm not going for that trick.
No, and it seems like all the runners are getting upstab.
Which is actually kind of surprising. Usually, you know, me and RCS will get it every time, but most other runners don't. It could be just that they're looking for Reflect. They're in the town. Oh, we got Fairy for Dr. J, PhD. So he knows he can get the item out of 5 now, but should he? We got Amazing Toaster, who is about to find his... What was it here? The medicine? Yep, it was the medicine.
Amazing Toaster finds the other item.
Oh! We do have fire! We do have Firelink Thunder! Oh, good.
Oh, wow.
Good. Or maybe I'll sing things. We'll see. Oh, seven magic containers. Yep, it's Firelink Thunder. And this is why I love the randomizer. Because now, you're not playing as a swordsman anymore. Now you're playing as a magician. See that? Isn't it great?
That's awesome.
He's gonna have to take a little dip right now, though. Yeah, he might even pump up his. Oh, and you know what? Those hops or layups or whatever you want to call them, using the Tektite to make that pretty tight jump. That was a pretty cool strat. He did it twice in a row. I approve, Thurwolf. You're okay in my book. But he finds Palace 4. And if he doesn't have Reflect, I don't think he does. Yeah. So it was impressive, but maybe not required. We got Link 7s in Nukasudo. Dr. J, PhD in Palace 6 fighting another Rubenek. This time, he has downstab. He almost gets a trick, but his sword level is high enough that he can pretty quickly take care of this Rubenek even without the downstab trick. Thurwolf finds another magic container in Palace 4. He is probably cursing himself now, but he won't be once he finds Nukasudo, because the magic container item lady is limiting the item obtainers. That's bad wording. She is requiring 7 magic containers, and now he has 7 magic containers. So if it's a good item, it'll be worth it. Although, do they need more items? Yeah, they need the glove. They've gone through... They've made pretty good progress without finding glove block so far, but it's only a matter of time. And Link 7's finding the trophy in Death Mountain. Very interesting. That could be big if it's Reflect. Because a lot of runners will check Death Mountain later, because it can be such a pain. Like, yeah, the first time you play... Sorry, go ahead, sorry.
It can be really tedious to track in there.
Yeah. The first time you went... Oh, he found... he found the Hammer Cave, and he already had found the Spectral Rock, so he's got everything he needs here. Once he gets in here. Again, could be the glove in here. We haven't seen that yet, and... While we haven't seen a glove block, it's going to happen. It's really unlikely to not have glove blocks. Oh, Dr. J has no magic to cast Fairy. We got Amazing Toaster fighting some Tektites. Walking on the lawn. Glove in Hammer Cave! Oh my god. Alright, yeah, Link 7's, I don't know how happy he is, how far ahead he thinks he is, but no one else is going back into Death Mountain, so he should be very pleased.
Humongous find there, humongous.
Absolutely. Now I can go into any of these palaces without fear. I do believe he has Fairy, and he has Trophy, so he might be getting Reflect. We haven't seen it from any other town yet. No, it's Spell, which he will know is not going to be required. He has all the magic items, the items that you trade to get spells, and there's no other actual items that he needs. So the spell is not worth a lot to him right now. Oh yeah, I'm sorry for missing your comment earlier, Jossie. Yeah, the Wizrobes and Magos. The Wizrobes and Magos can appear in any palace. They can even appear in Palace 1. The only consistent things in the palaces are, well, the rooms that make them up and which directions they're entered from. The bosses. And the pillars and windows. And I don't know if you know this, but there actually is there's a few palaces in the game, I think 2 palaces, that don't have any windows in any of the rooms, but there are graphics made for them. They're in the room. They're unique windows that nobody's ever seen, well, except for people who look in the room. We got Thirsty Lady on Amazing Toaster's side. Someone's probably gotten the spell already, but I don't remember what it was. We're all hoping for Reflect. Nope. Wolf's gonna be picking up his 2 important items, but it's only it's really gonna be when these guys decide to jump in Death Mountain to decide who's gonna be keeping up, because Link 7's should be taking the lead with his glove, but it's possible he won't. And speaking of Link 7, he's in Palace 6 right now. And with the glove, he's able to make it into this room. However, it is one of the tougher rooms in the game. What's it, the BGT room? Something like that?
There, Wolf finds his medicine now.
That's good. If you kill these horse heads or unicorn heads in this room, they won't reappear for a certain amount of time. I think they do reappear if you go in certain places, but he makes it through that room, and this will probably lead him on his way to Barba, because when we saw Dr. J, PhD, in here, he didn't fight Barba, and he didn't have a glove, so I'm thinking he probably explored everywhere else. Amazing Toaster exploring some caves. Very nice. Although he's not going to be finding the items that he wants in here. Shovel Knight still looks like Kabutops. Oh, Link got reflect, huh? Oh, sorry. Awesome. Good to know, Persephone. There's really no need for Link 7s to pick up any more spells. If he doesn't have life yet, which I would assume he would, he could pick that up since he really only has the starting number of hearts. Although if he has reflect, he should cast it because he's fighting Barba. Do something with that magic. Of course, the best spell for Barba, in my opinion, is Jump. Nothing like a good jackhammer to get your day started, right?
Definitely.
Yeah, it's pretty great, right? That skeleton sprite?
Yeah, that's awesome.
Link 7
I love the sprites in the game.
Oh yeah, that was one of the more recent additions as well. Dig Shake figured out a way to implement custom graphics into the game. So the custom sprites were something that happened after that. The first one, the one that Thurwolf is using, that Dark Knight, that was the first that was made, well, like a year and a half ago, I think. And then Zelda was the second one. I made that, and there have been a number of sprites made since then. And there's a few waiting in the wings for whenever the next update is.
Is there a release date for that or not?
No, Dig Shake's got a little shake to look after now, so when he gets some time, hopefully sooner rather than later. But you know, yeah, it's great. Obviously, that's going to be more important than any randomizer.
Definitely.
And the power of Fire Thunder, Thurwolf abusing it, and there's no reason you shouldn't be abusing it at this point. And even getting into Revenge Thunder, always good.
Yeah, making VOD look easy.
I would like to see a more complicated Valley of Death in the next couple releases. That would be interesting if there was like a pass through Valley of Death, or item caves in the Valley of Death. I think that would be cool. But I like torturing runners, so. I mean, pass through Death Mountain, that's okay, but that doesn't kill enough people, so. And of course, with this Fire-linked Thunder, you get to see that, you know, Thunder's another way to deal with these ghosts. Reflect isn't the only way. Magic's a versatile thing. Normally you would never see that in a normal Zelda 2 race.
No, never. I've never had the pleasure of being able to do that.
It's pretty great, right?
It is.
I love that kind of stuff about Zelda 2. Just the foresight that went into that. They were like, well, the player's never really going to see this, but let's make it vulnerable to Thunder anyway. Okay.
Right?
Yeah, so, Fujin, what that means is when you cast Fire, it will, if the flag is set to be so that it's linked, it will cast another random spell. Sometimes that's Fairy, and you don't get Fire at all, because you're a Fairy. But it could be any of the other spells, and The reason for that is because fire isn't really that useful at any level.
No, you only see fire used for Tektites.
Yeah, and in this game, you know, Tektites aren't necessarily going to be invulnerable to sword strikes. It could be something else. In the Japanese version, Tektites were not invulnerable to sword strikes. They added that to the American version to make fire more useful. Although I think they were invulnerable to downstabs. Honestly, we got the better version of the game. A lot of people are, I guess... Oh, cool. Amazing Toaster finishing up. Boss. And Dr. J having a rematch with Boss Guma.
Yeah, he should be able to take care of Guma now.
No more hidden palace for Amazing Toaster. That's done. There is a danger in picking up too many life levels. It's nice to have life level 8 when you're in GP or going up against Boss Guma. But the danger is sometimes you need a death abuse, and if it takes a long time for... It can take a disturbing amount of time for enemies to kill you if you have life level 8.
Yeah, you usually don't want no more than 6, right?
Yeah.
Therewith takes care of Kara.
Nice.
And Dr. J takes care of Guma.
It's good to get your revenge, isn't it, Dr. J?
Yeah, he's probably feeling pretty good about that.
No, picking life levels. What do you need life for? You just beat Guma.
Yeah, there's not gonna be anything much harder than that.
I mean, Thunderbird, maybe, but you got Reflect, so you're good. I guess he might not be feeling confident because he only has 4 magic containers and 4 heart containers. He's really low on magic containers. So he's thinking he's only going to get Thunder on Thunderbird, if that. A lot of these other guys running around with 7 magic containers. They don't know what it's like. At least right now they don't. No, he really doesn't. But yeah, it's nice to have Fire Link's spells. Sorry, I kind of stopped mid-conversation there. Because it's a cheap way to cast other spells. You cast... The casting cost is whatever fire is, which is generally one of the cheapest spells in the game. Once you get above like Magic 4 or so. But you get a more useful spell out of it. Probably the most disappointing will be like Shield linked fire or Jump linked fire, because those are also cheap, so it doesn't really change the game any for you. Oh.
Yeah, being able to cast Thunder at will is amazing.
Oh yeah. Huh. Well, it looks like we're not getting... Oh, there we go. Oh, it looks like there's a little bit of a sync issue. There we go, I think it's back to normal. Link 7's in the boss room of Palace 3. And that boss is taken care of easily. Oh, that is interesting. The second exit to Maze Island leads to a small valley with just a forest encounter tile. That would be rad if that was Bagu and Bagu was required. I would love that. But sadly, we're not going to see that. Think how long it took them to find that. We are 50 minutes in, and Thurl just found that. So if that was required, I would just be in love with the seed.
Bagu's hardly ever required, though, right?
Yeah, very rarely, because there's so many other options to get to the side, usually. But sometimes it happens. Carrot going down for Amazing Toaster. Maybe Carrick is the Glass Joe. But he can snipe you if he just decides to teleport on top of you over and over. Do you think Carrick is throwing the fight against Link? Because he can beat Link consistently every single time if he wanted to. If he just teleported in the right place.
Yes, very true.
He must be throwing.
Gym now. Yeah, Carrick, the chances of him doing that are very slim.
Yeah, super slim. Like, heat death of the universe slim, probably, but...
Be interesting if it happens.
Link 7's beaten Helmet Head. He's the boss with the helmets on his head. That's how you know he's Helmet Head.
Wonder how they get all them helmets on his head.
Yeah, I think he tried to cheat. I think he came from like an RPG with a bug where he could equip multiple head slot items, and he just came over to Zelda 2 somehow.
Reminds me of like a Beetlejuice head.
Yeah. Shrunken head in there. Just consecutively larger helmets like a Russian nesting doll. Oh, Dr. J, that magic container must taste so good right now. How long have you gone without that magic container, buddy? Amazing Toaster, also in Death Mountain. Good choice. And Thorwolf as well. They need the items in here. They can't go on without them. Well, they could go on without the trophy, but they definitely need the glove. Yeah, he has a helmet on his head, but he only has one helmet on his head. I guess it's a better helmet since it doesn't come off when you hit him.
No.
Maze Island doesn't have 2 exits. But that would be cool. I'm doubting... It's probably impossible for Maze Island to have 2 exits. Just because of the way... Well, I don't really know personally, but I think Dick Shake has mentioned that the way the sort of teleporting between maps thing works, that seems less possible. Like, I think he mentioned that you can't, say, have East and West linked by Death Mountain, which would be really cool, but... Oh, no, sorry, I meant Death Mountain. The second exit from Death Mountain going to the forest tile. I make all sorts of flubs all the time, so it's possible I said
okay.
Maze Island. Actually, you know what? Maybe it is possible for Maze Island to have a second exit. I mean, Death Mountain does it, so it probably can be done. Keep on searching that Death Mountain, Amazing Toaster. And Thurwolf. You ain't done till you got something on your hand. And it's not a wedding ring. Yeah, that's when you see a racer nope out of an item room with nothing standing in their way, you know that they know that they're in go mode, aka full big shake. Amazing Toaster finding Hammer Cave. He is incredibly happy, as he should be, because he is about to pick up a little piece of equipment that's going to make him very happy. It always comes down to the glove in these races. It's always the glove.
Yeah, from the few races I've watched, it always is the glove blocking, especially even in the max rando races.
Glove constantly. You never get it at the start. I don't know why. You just never do. Unless it's like max rando and you start with it. All the entrances and let's see. If what you mean by entrances is the entrance of the palace, like the palaces aren't necessarily on the same towns. Sorry, in the same continents. So, and you can't tell them apart. So I guess you could say those are randomized. The towns do not change continents, but they're in different locations in the continent. So I guess you could say those are randomized too. And the rooms are in different positions in the palaces. So if that's what you mean. And I think Dick Shake did mention once wanting to do like a no overworld version of Zelda 2, where you just like the whole thing is one huge maze. So that would definitely qualify. Yeah, that'd be cool and incredibly hard. Could you imagine like walking, like beating the boss, and then you're like in Rudo? you get jump, you have to go back through all these palaces just to get down stab. I would love to see that.
I hate the overworld. It kills me.
Really?
Yeah, it kills my time. You know, just every encounter.
Oh yeah, the random encounters, having to predict their movement, and even then, even when you know all the formulas and stuff, it's still got some random elements.
Yeah, even pause strats don't always work.
Yeah, I can never race vanilla because that would kill my motivation if I was like an hour in doing great and then like I got a bad encounter or 2 or 3.
That you don't get river skip. There's a lot of things that can go wrong.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's pretty crazy, Browncoats. I love this randomizer. It's my favorite randomizer. Zelda 1 randomizer I think is also really good. And A Link to the Past randomizer is really popular, and it's fun to watch, but I'd say that those two are probably my favorite ones, Zelda 1 2.
Yeah, I agree with you on that.
Mm-hmm. Another boss down for Link 7s. I believe that might put him in go mode. I mean, he's been in go mode. I believe he might have all 6 now. I just caught the end of it. Is Link 7's audio usable? The Super Metroid Link to the Past rando. That's interesting, switching between different games and getting items from one game that apply in the other one. That's pretty crazy.
I've never watched it yet.
Yeah, I only caught a little bit of it. It's pretty nuts that they managed to do something like that. We got GP. Let's see if we can use Link 7's audio. I think he's switching. Hopefully it's got good audio. Nah, I guess not.
Link 7 is just killing the seed right now.
Yep. Finding that glove, going into Death Mountain when he did, that was really good. And if Dr. J had invested more into exploring Death Mountain when he went in there early, he could have been in this position right now. Although it's not easy taking on Death Mountain at super early levels. Oh no, an early Thunderbird! As I've mentioned before in previous seeds, as a racer, you do not want to see early Thunderbird, because Thunderbird is always going to be before Dark Link. So if he's later in the palace, after you've done a bunch of decisions, deciding to go up or left or down or whatever, then you can be like, okay, I'm on the right track. I just fought Thunderbird. Great fight, by the way. But if he's right in the beginning, like, you only rule out a couple of rooms, and so everything else is just a maze.
Yeah, that's like finding them at all the other options, going left, right. There's no use to finding them early.
Yeah. I don't suspect anyone's going to catch up to him, though. Oh, well, Amazing Toaster just places 6th gem, so I could be eating my words anytime now. That's just a few minutes difference. That could easily be made up in GP.
Yeah, and that Thunderbird being early could actually put him right back in it.
There is a general meta that most racers will take, and it's pretty consistent. You just keep going right, and then go up or down only if you can't go right anymore. And then kind of work your way back. And that's the most efficient way to route most of these. Now, whether you take drops, or whether you go up or down, those are kind of decisions that can change that meta. But basically, as long as you're heading right, you can bump into Dark Link. But anytime you're heading left, you're not going to until you start going right again.
Link 7's passes on the Eon drop.
Because they're less likely to lose you time, if that makes sense. Yeah, if it loops you, it might be a couple screens, but it's more likely, the earlier you are, that it'll put you ahead. But it's one more factor that you have to kind of mentally juggle. If you're early, you might not even know where you are once you take that drop, and that can be important. Amazing Toaster facing his Thunderbird. I love this color set, by the way. This maroon color set. It's very epic feeling.
Yeah, a lot of the palaces have really unique colors, like color palette.
Oh yeah. The traditional vanilla for GP is, of course, that gold, which makes sense, Triforce and all that. But it's cool seeing something like this.
Yeah, I think it looks better.
Oh yeah. I think too many palaces get the black backgrounds, though. I like it now, but you see it a little too often. When there's a flash, you'll see the actual background that's loaded up. Yep, both of our racers that are in the lead, they've both defeated Thunderbird. One good or bad gamble. Did I say good or bad bamble? Jump, paying dividends. I told you, jump really shines in GP. I believe in you, Amazing Toaster. You can pull it back. Dr. J looking for his hammer cave, and so is Thorwolf. They're both in the right area, but Yeah, they still got a little ways to go. And even once they find the items, they have the gloves, they have to defeat. I know at least Barba is glove locked. Now this L7 room, which we call it because it's not shaped like an L7, it's kind of shaped like a backwards L and a backwards 7 instead. But that is a room you can actually clip through the top if you're good enough, if you have jump and you time getting hit by a fireball to damage boost. It can pay off, but as deep into the palace as Link 7's is, I wouldn't go for it. Another dead end for Link 7's, and the same room in Amazing Toaster's side, but it's in a different position in the palace. There are 3 of those dead end rooms in GP. Although I believe we're playing with shortened Great Palace, which has I believe 25% fewer rooms that don't involve a decision. So that is rooms that only have a left and a right, or an up and a left, or whatever. Those are simple rooms where you don't have to make any decisions, and 25% of those at random are called out. Because GP is a really long house.
Yeah, I think it has upward over 50 rooms.
Yeah. It's it's easy to forget how many freaking caves there are in Death Mountain, or how many rooms there are in GP if you know your way through. But with the randomizer, not so much.
No.
I think Death Mountain also has around 50 caves. And sometimes it's literally one cave that you need to go through to get what you need. Although I do like how it's more open-ended than in the vanilla game usually. Like you can access like 10 caves from some areas.
Yeah, without having to go through another cave to get there.
Yeah. And if it was exactly like it is in vanilla, it would be a nightmare every time. I think we're going to see Link 7's taking the Eon drop, so named because Enchantress of Numbers defeated Dick Shake in, I believe, the first Z2R tournament by taking this drop. Although it was best 2 out of 3, and I think Dick Shake did win overall.
Yeah, I think he did too.
That's another dead end.
Yeah.
I think that's his third.
Yeah, the GP's turned into a nightmare, it looks like.
Mm-hmm. And Link 7's is probably going to lose a life soon. And none of the other racers have finished the race yet, so it's quite probable that Link 7's and Amazing Toaster are overall the top 1 and 2 racers in this weekly.
How many people are in this week's race?
Let's see. I think 8. Yeah. I might be mistaken about that, though. Somewhere up there. Both Amazing Toaster and Link 7's on life support at this point. And our bottom 2 racers not having luck finding Hammer Cave. Oh, Dr. J is peacing out, so I guess he did find it. I hope he found it.
Definitely.
Oh my goodness! See? The great equalizer. Amazing Toaster is facing Dark Link. Even though he entered the palace probably a good 2 minutes behind Link 7's. It's pretty hard to avoid that death with... Oh, wow. We have a handshake here. If Link 7's has a flawless fight, he can still take it.
Ooh. Toaster took the death.
Oh my gosh. It's very rare for it to come down like this. It's very tough to get a flawless fight too. Oh my goodness! Link 7's makes it! Oh my gosh! Oh my god! That was amazing! Alright, so we have Link 7's in first place overall with a time of 1:10:39. And we've got Toaster with a time of 1:10:42. Sorry, 43. So a difference of 4 seconds.
Wow, what a good race that was.
Amazing.
That death the Toaster took, really. If he would have had that flawless fight, he had to...
Oh yeah. I mean, it's so tough to get that flawless fight though. Let's see if we can pull him on in here. We have Toaster in the waiting room. I think I'll pull him in.
Sounds good.
Hello, Amazing Toaster. Great game.
Yeah, but for 4 seconds.
4 seconds. Yeah, wow. See, both you and Link 7's were on my support, like in that same stretch. And you found Dark Link first, and, unfortunately you took the death because it's so hard to get a flawless fight against Dark Link.
Yeah, after I got the first 2 hits on, I was like, okay, I'm gonna go to the wussy crouch strats, and then he jumped on me.
Mm-hmm. There's some people who know how to get out of that consistently, and I've tried replicating what I see, but that's just a tough thing to do. I can't really do that. Like you like down stab at a certain time, and you can get out of it, but I haven't really managed it.
GG's, Amazing Toaster. That was an amazing race.
Yeah, thank you for providing us with such a close finish. Like that's the kind of finish that a race deserves to come down to.
It's pretty crazy. I felt like I had a really good death mountain. I found the cave there's one cave that led to the glove, and that could trip some people up.
Now, actually, Link 7's found that cave really a lot earlier than everyone else, and he was able to pull in. Like he was probably behind you until they got the glove early, and so that allowed him to route a little bit more efficiently and not have to go back as many times. I think he only went to P6 once. And so that allowed him to pull ahead. He entered GP like 1.5 or 2 minutes before you did, and you really made up that time in GP. Going from entering, 1.5 or 2 minutes behind him to finishing within 4 seconds of him, that's a lot of time made up in GP. Yeah,
I had a good idea about the drops when I saw that long room landing spot. I was like, okay, let's try and avoid drops from here out. But it came down to you needed to take Eon drop to get back on the right path.
Yeah, I think Link 7's passed that the first time, maybe the second time. I didn't notice. Did you take it the first time or the second time, or how that?
I went down, found the dead end, and came back and took Eon drop.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you did get back to that. Get back to Eon Drop after exploring faster than he did. I think that's where you picked that time up. Dr. J was in Death Mountain, and I think he left before finding the glove. So he's looking around, trying to figure out things, trying to arrange life and get things in order. But Thorwolf has it, and he's gunning for things now.
Yeah, there was a hint about the gloves somewhere. Oh, it was the first lady in New Kasuto.
Ah, so is that how you knew to head to Death Mountain?
Yeah, because it came down to, okay, gloves really the only thing left, so let's go to Death Mountain and fish it out.
Now, I know it's required for P6. Was it required for any other palaces?
Nothing else pre-GP, because I had cleared everything in the east before I went back west to pick up the glove.
I'm gonna see if I can get. Oh, there's Link 7s. Let me pull him in here. Great job to our winner, Link 7s. Such a close race with Amazing Toaster.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, GG's, Link. Nice race.
Yeah, what it came down to is, as I was telling Toaster earlier, you actually were able to pick up a lot of time by getting the glove earlier than everyone else. And so you entered GP, I think, 2 minutes before Amazing Toaster did. With that early Thunderbird, I'm sure that had you both a little bit worried, but Toaster was able to pick up some time and entered, and you know, you guys were both on life support in the stretch before Dark Link. He entered the room like 10 or 20 seconds before you did, and unfortunately, since you both were on life support, he took a death, and by the time he respawned, you were already in the room, and you needed that flawless fight, and you got it.
Yeah, I think at that point you just hope for good luck, and you know, you could take a death intentionally, but it's going to be faster if you don't have to.
Yeah, that's the kind of gamble that you need to be a pretty good player to do. I think in a situation like that, I would still take the death early because I'm just not confident enough. Although maybe I should, you know, reconsider that.
Where I really get in trouble is if they jump at you. If Darkling jumps at you, then you can save it by jumping, but it's a little tricky.
Yeah, I've noticed, you know, players like Dick Schick and Yunos doing that, doing a straight jumping down stab. But I've tried it and it hasn't worked. I think you have to do it at a particular time, and I haven't figured that out.
The thing I was worried most about is if I had to go out and get Fairy.
Oh gosh, you didn't have Fairy in GP?
Nope.
Wow, you went through the whole game without Fairy. Well, you know, it'll happen.
Yeah, I knew where Fairy was, so I went and got it, and I even did 6 without it, and I was wondering if it was even going to be required, but I went and got it anyway, so it was close.
Yeah, there's that Fairy block in 5, which I think was blocking whatever the item was. And then there's 2 potential Fairy blocks in GP, or is it just 1?
There's 2, but one of them is only if you're going from right to left.
Right, gotcha.
And that room usually gets taken out. Actually, both of those rooms usually get taken out of short GP.
Yeah, it's unlikely to see all of these tricky rooms in short GP. Although it can happen.
I was a little freaked out in 6 because I saw that Fairy required room in 6.
Oh yeah, that one.
I was afraid I was going to have to go that way.
Yeah, I don't remember who it was. I think it might have been Dr. J or Thurwolf, or maybe Toaster. I know it wasn't Link. Someone got to that fall through where you have to cast Fairy and went to menu to get to Fairy and didn't have the magic, so it didn't matter. But fortunately, not required.
Yeah, the cheap Thunder Fire was pretty nice, though.
Yeah, that was pretty nice.
Yeah, I always want to see that in races because it just changes the dynamic. You know, as soon as that happens, like suddenly Link's a wizard.
I casted real Thunder, and then I was like, wait a minute, let me try Fire again. And oh, hey, it's Thunder Fire.
All the small P-bag, 500 P-bag drops, that was pretty nice at the beginning.
Oh,
yeah,
definitely.
I don't know if you did it, but towards the beginning of the game, I up A'd in a couple points where it was like, okay, if I up A, the standard drops will give me those 2 P-bags real quick.
Nice.
I took up aid for it, but I got quite a few of those early.
That's another relatively new feature of the randomizer, the random drops. And we even saw a few random keys in this, and that can also change the dynamic of the game. If you get lucky and get a couple keys, you might think, hey, maybe I should jump into a palace.
I don't think I saw a key, but I got the magic key so early.
Yeah, magic key was really early.
Yeah, that was a nice thing. I don't like it, you know, when you're forced out of the dungeons for a long period of time.
Did you end up seeing the clue about the glove?
Yeah, it was in New Casino.
Yeah, that really helped, because as soon as I saw that, I was like, well, I pretty much explored all of the east and done none of the palaces. Let's go glove.
Could you imagine without that hint if you went and explored the palaces?
Yeah, exactly.
See, at that point, once I found out where the glove was, I go moded 2, 4, 5, and 6. Well, I got the glove between 2 and, after 4.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think I pretty much did the same thing. I kind of freaked out when I noticed I didn't have the flute, but then that was like the next palace I went into. I went into 3. I was like, oh, I gotta go items, and then oh well, now we're back to go mode.
Speaking of flute, Thurwolf just picked up his flute. So I believe that's just that should lead him to Palace 2, and he's in Palace 3 right now, and that's all he needs to place his 6 gems. By the way,
I decided to try and do the entire East loop, in one go, which actually worked out for the fact that GP was in the West.
Right. And actually, you guys both finished in less than 71 minutes, and those are incredible times for your standard Swiss. So great job on that. I was looking to see, oh man, yeah, Thurwolf and Dr. J are pretty far behind, but they're still sub 90. So so we have a lot of strong racers now. It's good to see.
Yeah, really, just all the experience and the glove hint and the thunder fire really just sped things up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, XP was super free.
Did you find a heart container anywhere?
I picked up 1.
I mean, they weren't really necessary because the life levels were pretty good, and then eventually you could clear things out pretty fast with thunder. But yeah, eventually I was like, well, apparently hearts don't exist, so well, whatever.
I'm pretty sure I accidentally Magic 9'd too. Because it cost less than attack 8.
Oh yeah, you ended up with 788, didn't you?
Yeah.
I didn't quite make it there. I had 7, 7, 8.
So, you guys, let's say you get fire early. Are you hoping it's fairy or are you hoping it's thunder?
Thunder.
I feel like early I'm just hoping it's either fairy, thunder, or reflect, just because I'm afraid of, you know, the scenario where you have to go hunt down the spell item in the very last item location.
Yeah, I definitely would have taken reflect, because that was the last thing I needed.
Yeah, I think it was for a lot of you guys. I never even saw you guys get reflect. You just suddenly had it when I looked away. So, you guys are both in the upcoming tournament, is that correct? Or
Yep.
Yeah.
nice, and that's starting next week. I'm sure both of you guys will make it a little bit further than me.
Yeah, we'll see. It should be fun. I mean, a lot of people have, you know, I started playing this randomizer probably, I don't know, a year and a half ago or something. It was pretty early on. It was before the overworld randomizing was added, even. But there have been a lot of people that have started like this spring that keep, you know, kicking my butt in just weekly races and stuff, so.
Yeah, some of our new competitors have gotten a lot of practice and, you know, gotten pretty good at the game. I don't know if I would have played the game before the overworld randomizer myself. I think that kind of pulls it all together.
Yeah, it was kind of different. There were some like there were actually some really nasty scenarios with it, because if you think about the vanilla overworld, there was a chance that you could start like on like the Palace 3 tile, and then that cave leads you to Death Mountain. So anytime you game over or whatever, you have to go like worm your way through Death Mountain to get anywhere.
Oh yeah, I gotcha. So, you know, Magic Cave could have been Death Mountain?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that is a lot more likely if the overworld can't change.
Yeah, I mean, it can still happen here where you get like a thin northwest Hyrule that doesn't have much in it, and you basically have to go through Death Mountain or something, but that's pretty rare.
Yeah, actually, did you guys see the second entrance to Death Mountain, or was it just the other two players?
It was off in a secluded bit of the map. You couldn't get to it from anywhere but inside Death Mountain.
Yeah, I loved it. Could you imagine if that was Bagu and Bagu was required?
Yeah. I don't think I saw it even.
It was this little valley, off all on its own, like you were saying, secluded from the rest of the map, with one forest encounter.
It was kind of north of this area where 6 was.
Oh yeah, for Jim, they finished really close. They were both fighting Dark Link at the same time. It was pretty tense.
That GP was kind of long though. I think I must have got touched pretty much every room.
At least it wasn't completely littered with Bluebird Knights, Blue Focus. I saw a couple that were pretty annoying for you, but I've seen worse GPs.
Yeah, I mean there weren't a lot of rooms necessarily that were really bad, and especially with the thunder, you could rip through a lot of stuff pretty easily. It's just the routing with where the drops are and which path to take that took so long.
Mm-hmm. Thurwolf is making good progress on GP right now, so he should be finishing up pretty shortly. He is also on live support, so I guess that means he should find Darklink right now? Actually, I think he's not quite there yet. $9 p.m. Eastern on Thursday. Alan Heffley. Sorry for the chair squeak, by the way. Well, that's certainly a lot earlier, and that's a more accessible time for me personally. Staying up a little late to do these, but it's worth it. 3 hours earlier, or 2 hours earlier would be nice.
It's kind of the opposite for me because I'm out in mountain time, so this actually isn't that late for me.
Right. Well, the only reason it's late for me is because I have to work early. I'm in Pacific, so it's not technically late.
Yeah, but also, yeah, I probably go into work later then.
Yeah. Yeah, me, I gotta be there at 6 a.m. tomorrow. So, Alan Heffley, is that going to be the tournament or a weekly race that we're doing? He's in chat, talking to us. Dr. J finding his next boss, Horsehead. I thought I remembered him being weak. Well, maybe that's because the single sword slash got him all the way down to half health. Alright.
He's pretty weak.
We got Thurwolf fighting Dark Nut. Does that make him Light Nut?
Probably best if we don't think about that.
Thurwolf's found Link, Dark Link now.
Dr. J PhD will be hopefully picking up the hint about the glove soon. While he's in New Kasuto. Hey! Thurwolf getting those escapes. And I guess down stab isn't necessary, just the jump part is necessary.
Seems like it works better if you jump stab, but I think it's mostly about the timing of the jump.
Yeah. Well, we got an official SRL time of 1 hour, 32 minutes, and 37 seconds for Thurwolf. Well done. We're going to see a slightly awkward end sequence for this particular sprite. Yes, indeed, and let's see if we can pull Thurwolf in. And Thurwolf did place in fifth, behind Ryan, who finished in 1 hour, 20 minutes, and 46 seconds, and Rose City Saints, who finished in 1 hour, 30 minutes, and 47 seconds. Thurwolf has decided not to join us. He's going to be going to bed tonight. Well, thank you very much for being on stream with us. We do appreciate it. It was a good race, and it was good to watch you.
I'm going to go ahead and jump out myself.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us. And again, great finish from both of you guys.
Take care.
Thanks for calling the race.
Oh, no problem.
Yeah, GG's to everybody. Thank you.
Oh, yeah. Phrygian, the other commentator is Styx 2018. And I'm Nightcrawler, or Tony Nightcrawler, or Tony, or TKC, or whatever you want to call me. Yeah, Styx normally does vanilla Zelda 2 races, and I'm glad to have him here with me co-commentating.
Yeah, thank you. You know, I figured I'd try something new, and I've always wanted to play Randomizer Zelda 2, and figured this is a good way to start.
Yeah, you can actually pick up quite a lot just watching players. I actually started pulling in okay times after just a few times playing, because I had watched, like 10 or 12 matches. I'm sure you'd pick it up even faster than me, because I didn't even run vanilla until then.
Everybody tells me vanilla compared to Randomizer is really not comparable. Like, seems like they're two different games, It might be the same things, same items and stuff, but, it's just something different I gotta learn.
Yeah, that is true. Are we going to be seeing you in the tournament? Or I guess if it's your first time,
yeah,
probably not.
No, I'm not going to join the tournament yet. But I'm going to try to start running some seeds and see where it goes.
Yeah, cool. And everyone in the chat is more than welcome to join too. We have a number of new racers. Not just yourself. When you start playing a few, some of them, they're definitely in striking distance to new players. So don't think that just because you're new, you're gonna just be in last place all the time. That's not necessarily true. I'm not the greatest player myself, so you probably beat me.
You never know. One person goes left, one goes right. Whoever decides to dig Death Mountain, they come down to anything.
That's absolutely true. There is a decent amount of luck involved in these races. But what I like most about racing Zelda 2 is, the adaptability and the kind of running probabilities in your head. I guess the probabilities thing isn't unique to Zelda 2 though. That's most randomizers.
I like how combat deep it is. Like it could help me better my combat just by facing multiple harder enemies on one screen.
Yeah, I love that about it too. Make sure you turn that flag on, because that's not. If you just turn it on with no flags entered, it'll be just kind of the standard enemies. Mix small large is where you're going to see the difficulty come in there. And it'll make some easier rooms, because it could mix small enemies into large positions, but you also get harder rooms, and that makes it harder on average, because you don't remember the easy screens, you only remember the hard ones.
Very true.
Yeah, Phrygian, Rando's not for everyone, but glad to have you as a viewer for sure. And I hope one day to make this to help Big Shake make this even more random and more interesting to watch. So maybe he'll get some time at a certain point. I think he said it might happen. That was a long time ago, but I hope there to be some more updates and to do some really cool stuff with this.
Yeah, he's done an amazing job with it already.
Yeah, he really has. And the game can be pushed further. I've seen a couple hacks that do some things that aren't in Z2R yet. So, and the way that they've expanded the ROM for the US release, it kind of makes it so that all the graphics are kind of mixed in modularly. So I know some things that can be done in addition to what's already done.
Yeah, even graphically, like I think it might have been Yunus playing, and some of the palace backgrounds were real like 3-dimensional and shiny looking.
Oh, well, Yunus runs this background on his channel, and so there's like a blend that he has going. It's like 20% his background and 80% what he's playing, and it kind of makes it look like it's shiny. Yeah.
Yeah, that looked really cool.
Yeah, that's just on the stream end though. But I know there's some graphical things you can do to make it more interesting.
Yeah, even just look at the sprites that you guys are playing with. You know, like being able to play with a skeleton or Zelda.
Yeah.
A Dark Knight, you know.
Yeah, I think we got around 10 options now, and whenever the next update is, it'll probably go up to like 15 at least. I'm thinking, unless I'm the only one who did any new ones. Oh yeah, RCS. That was a really good finish between those two. You should have seen it. They were in the room at the same time in Dark Link's room. Amazing Toaster, you're saying it's the Windfish poking through the Alpha channel? I thought it was his Ganon fight from Zelda 1 poking through. Well, either way. I guess it depends on whatever graphic he had loaded up. Don't worry, there's always next time, RCS. And it's better to have good competitors than no competitors, or bad competitors. Hope you don't get teleported onto Dr. J. Well, that happened. Yeah, that Death Mountain was pretty painful for Thirlwolf and Dr. J. Swing! One more gem place for Dr. J. Until he finds the glove, though, he can't beat the game.
Yeah, and he already was in Death Mountain too and didn't find it, so...
Yeah. I hope he goes back. I hope he saw the hint in Nukasudo. But there's no guarantee of that. I think the first time that I was streamed, or restreamed on one of these weekly races, I did not feel ready to be on there. I think I pulled the time like half an hour behind everyone else, but it was funny. Like everyone was rooting for me, like, "Oh, you can do it." I had no idea they were saying that, but it was fun to watch when it was played back. And a little embarrassing, but you live, you learn.
True.
I definitely need to get in some practice matches before the tournament starts next week. Probably going to spend Sunday doing that.
Wish you good luck, in the tournament too, Nightcrawler.
Oh, thank you very much, Styx. All I want is at least one win. That will be enough for my ego.
That's what I'm looking for whenever I join the vanilla Zelda 2 tournament. Just one win, make brackets.
Yep. Dr. J really shouldn't be killing these Blue Lizard guys, because he has no more levels to gain. And
nah, he should just be going.
Yeah, gaining free lives for the lives is not worth it at all. Not at this point. Not in this situation. Because, I mean, as soon as you up an A, those extra lives are gone. Oh, what? 0 and 4, huh? Well, hey, you know, for someone to win, someone else has got to go down, unfortunately.
True. He had a good lead, though, for a minute there.
Dr. J?
Yeah.
Yeah, in the beginning he did. Especially on levels.
He got the glove first, too.
Dr. J still doesn't have the glove.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Wrong
Yeah.
one.
No worries, but yeah, he had an exploration lead. He was the first to go east. He was the first to fight a boss, although sadly he wasn't able to finish it. And he had great levels, but yeah, sometimes it can slip away. Attack 9 guy. I haven't seen him today. I hope he, is keeping track well of where he's checked. It looks like he's still looking for the overworld desert item, of which there's only one. So hopefully he remembers correctly. Once the games get long, it can be easy to start forgetting the things you did earlier. At least for me. But well, I should take this time to thank Speed Gaming for hosting us. We really appreciate you letting Zelda 2 Randomizer take up this time slot. We love this randomizer. We want to share it, and you're really helping us do that. Yeah, it sort of seems like he wants to do everything but Death Mountain. At this point, dude, go to Death Mountain. You haven't found the items. And since Thurwell finished, Victor Santa Fe finished in 6th place with 1:45.14. And JJ Schmidt unfortunately forfeited the race. Victor Santa Fe doesn't always have a chance to play these races, these weekly races, because he's very often commentating on them, and so I'm glad he gets to play for once. I think last week he had a concert he had to perform, which is about the coolest excuse you can have to not be in a Zelda 2 Randomizer tournament weekly. I can't show up to this weekly because my adoring fans, they need me. Hey, it happens. It happens, Hef. Is he a new runner? Dr. J? No, I think he did a lot of running last year, but he hasn't run recently, if I'm not mistaken. Not as much recently, at least. So, it could be adjusting to the new version, or just rust. But he does have experience. And I'm not saying that he hasn't played any games, it's in the intermediate time, but fewer than last year, I believe. Glad to have him play, though. Oh, yeah. He was in the Max Rando tournament. It just... My mistake then. Yeah, unfortunately I've had a couple things going on in my life. I haven't been able to keep up with Zelda 2 Randomizer as much as I want to recently. Oh yeah, and Z1R is a lot of fun as well. He does seem to be back on the west, so hopefully he's heading back into Death Mountain. You don't need those P-bags, dude. That half second it takes for you to pick up the P-bag, at this point it's definitely not worth it.
Yeah, he should be going back to Death Mountain now.
Yeah, here he is. Good. Sometimes you just gotta dig it. And of course, the game does get a bit harder than this. We are running the Swiss flags, so all the racers started out with a candle, and the item that would have been the candle was replaced by a pea bag. But you know, I actually prefer playing without the candle. I think it makes the game a lot more fun. Yeah, FCOF did a great job on this randomizer. Well, once he gets a glove, yeah, you got that level, buddy. Once he gets a glove, there should be nothing stopping him. 888, all the items, all the spells. Even the cross. You know, you might be wondering why Dr. J is killing the enemies. He maybe shouldn't spend quite as much time killing them as he is, but it is still a good idea to kill enemies as you walk through this, so it can help you keep track of where you've been. As long as you don't leave Death Mountain, which you could end up doing accidentally. But as long as you don't leave it, enemies that are not respawning like these fish will not come back, so you'll know which caves you've been in. And yeah, this is, well, we got Dr. J PhD here. We got a good opportunity to focus on his screen and, you know, learn about the randomizer. So if you're thinking about picking up a game, it's a good opportunity.
Yes, it definitely is. A lot easier to track one person than four.
Oh yeah. You don't need that P-bag! You don't even want it!
No levels, no experience, just go.
Yeah, there were a lot of habits that I had when I first started playing that I knew were costing me time because I would see other people wouldn't do it, like picking up every pea bag that I came across, and some of these habits I thought I would never get rid of. I thought, oh man, I don't know if I can play the game without doing this. I don't know if I can play the game without life or what have you. And as you play, you can just let those slip away. It's not necessarily a huge conscious effort sort of thing. I think that cave to the right is the cave he's looking for, if I'm not mistaken. But he's not going in there.
Yeah, you're definitely right about having habits and stuff. Whenever I first started playing, I would want to kill everything on the screen, and just to overlook and just go through it without killing everything. Just takes time to learn.
Yeah, absolutely. I had... Don't pick it up, Dr. J. Oh, here's a good thing to learn. These caves with 4 entrances are more valuable than the caves with 2 entrances in Death Mountain, because you can explore one cave and just peek in one entrance, go back in, peek out the other entrance, go back in, without having to do much overworld exploration or facing new enemies over and over again. So it's a good way to cover a lot of Death Mountain. Sadly, I think Dr. J is walking very far away from where he needs to be right now, although I might be mistaken. Rastafur, that was pretty good. Don't pick it up, Dr. J, no! Yeah, he's trolling, for sure. And why is fire not selected on his spell list? Oh, that's another... Yeah.
He doesn't even have to fight at all. He can just be running through these.
Yeah, and if you get in trouble, just cast fire before you hit anything. You have been here before. No! No!
He won't leave him.
He found the other exit. Now all the enemies are back, and that might cause him to lose track of where he was. That was probably an accident, but it's painful when it happens. Just don't go through that exit again, please.
Might be a good thing though. Now he might end up in the right cave by accident.
Hopefully. But yeah, another thing about the randomizer is one of the flags you can set that does not affect the seed and is considered something that you can change at will is fast casting. You can set it so that you don't need to pause before every time you cast a spell. So that's something you can do. Although still out of habit, I still pause occasionally, like at least once on the screen if I know that I'm going to need the spell there. But just having fire selected, you can just run around with it ready to go without not having to pause the game. Finger on the trigger. You can do the same thing with spell. You can make spell more useful that way with fast casting. No! No, don't leave Death Mountain! Where are you going? You haven't found your glove yet, dude! Oof. Why would you leave if you're not done?
Yeah, I don't know where he's going now.
I don't know if you got the hint. He's been in New Kasuto, of course.
No, there's no way he could have it.
Well, I mean, even if you didn't have the hint, you're in the place and it's got an item, and you need an item. So, and you know people have finished. You know everyone else has finished, because that's like the one piece of information you get as a runner about the other players, like if they're done or not. So that's another thing you can use when you're racing to kind of determine probabilities, especially when you get to know people's play styles. Like if you see me and RCS finish first and second, you know upstab's gonna be required. Because we're gonna get upstab.
Just knowing the playability of each player.
Yep. If you see Yunos finish first, that's just business as usual. But if you see him finish first by a lot, then maybe he did some funky clip or something in GP. In which case you might want to go left. I think me and Trails like Death Mountain, so if you see me and Trails finish first and second, then Death Mountain's probably required. Another level. This guy's got like 10, 10, 8 at this point. I tease Dr. J. We are glad to have you, of course.
Yeah, definitely.
But we're gonna tease still. Yeah, but it could also be going left in Fairy Room. Although, in one of the matches that he beat Yunos, in his match that he had victory against Yunos in the finals, he won by not going left at Fairy. So, I don't know. Was every bag 500? Because keys and lives were a drop. So, I'm not sure. There's been a lot of 500s. A lot of 500s. Dr. J going to be disappointed by this item if he hasn't already dug it out. Okay. Yeah. Free life. You know, one of the tougher parts about, you know, playing this and trying to get a good time is, you know, I think, and I think you would agree with me, Styx, is that the combat in Zelda 2 is just so fun. You know, the way the controls work and the multiple ways to defeat most enemies in the game, it just makes the combat really enjoyable, and you want to fight those enemies, but it's not always for the best.
Oh yeah, definitely. The control and like it has an amazing combat system. It's one of the reasons why I love it so much.
Yeah, I used to kill just everything I saw, and I was like, maybe I can skip this kind of enemy. Maybe I can skip this kind of enemy. And that's one of the reasons, you know, I mean, this should be obvious to most people who play Zelda 2, but for the other players, that's one of the reasons why you see people get down stab really early, is because not only does it allow you to defeat enemies quicker, but it more importantly lets you skip enemies. Like
yeah, it's especially important in vanilla too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can skip. You can technically skip like red and orange iron knuckles without downstab, but it's really tough. Like, it's really tough timing for that. Oh no, sorry. It's fairly tough, but I think blue iron knuckles skipping without downstab is even harder because they back up from you.
Yeah, even jackhammering them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, jackhammering blue iron knuckles. That's honestly the only practical way to defeat blue iron knuckles when you're at a low sword level. Or even a medium sword level. Barbara does slither with a heart. Deloop. Nice. I'll have the root beer. Getting some reflect strats from Dr. J. We got Fire Thunder, dude. Oh, yeah. He found the block. I guess he wanted to take the gamble and see if 6 could be completed. I think he's checked it before, but he was just trying to be thorough. It is possible for a seed not to require glove. I've seen it twice. Once in a game I was playing and once in a game I was watching, but it's just so rare. Like, you want the glove.
Yeah, you know, honestly, where he is right now, that wasn't the worst play ever. You know, digging for the not digging, but trying to defeat the palace.
Right. It's happened, RCS, yeah. I've played non-max rando that glove was not required, yeah. And honestly, that shouldn't be too surprising, because the place where you're most likely to get blocked without glove is GP, and you can't max out that. There's no rando where you don't need to do GP. I have. And in fact, the reason I know is because it was one of my first seeds that I played. I was playing by myself. It was like my third or fourth RCS, and it was my third or fourth seed. And I legitimately thought that it was not an item you could get, because I thought I looked everywhere. Of course I hadn't, but I was forced to go without the glove, and I went through the whole thing, and I didn't need the glove. and it just made me finish the game faster because I was just funneled right toward Dark Link. Yeah, really? I just told the story? I should have like marked that seed because it's probably been deleted by now, or it's in my pile of seeds. Nice. Every small drop is a 500-point PBag. EXP City. Sure, no problem. I don't know if I ever will. It's like hitting the lottery. Because there's 2 palaces that have 1 glove block, 2 palaces that have 2 glove blocks, and then there's GP, which has like 10 glove blocks, or 20, or whatever. Yeah, it's pretty cool. You know, maybe I could check the file creation date and just run the early seeds that I made. And, you know, just by checking the date, I should be able to find those first couple of seeds. I'd find the one that doesn't require a glove that way. I'd have to play like 3 or 4 seeds before I get to it, though. No downside Reuben X seeds. I mean, that's just the manliest way to beat Reuben X, isn't it? Reuben X. Unpleasant. Oh, I love no dad. Don't stab Reuben X. That's the way to fight him. Oh, you were talking about Dr. J, sorry. Oh yeah, I've totally been in this situation where I'm the last streamer. And, you know, good on him to keep going. It does take, you know, some mental fortitude to not give up. Never surrender. Oh. Yeah, this DM is unpleasant. I just hope he doesn't skip out of it. You know, Dr. J was actually the first person to explore Death Mountain, I think. Or maybe that was Link 7's. It was a long time ago. And I was very confused. Yeah, he went... It's like just to the left of this, just to the right of this, isn't it? He skipped this... Oh, no. No, it's not. I think it's through there and then to the cave on the right. I really need to learn how to downstab Boss Goomba, because it's so cool looking when you do it, and that's what matters. Downstabbing Boss Goomba.
Yeah, it is pretty cool actually to see that. I can't do it.
I've seen it so many times, and in my head I'm like, yeah, this is how you do it, and then I try it, and I don't get it ever. It's so tricky. You gotta like jump into his stomach at a certain angle and speed, and then like downstab at a certain time and not any earlier. It's kind of crazy. That's one of the things I love about Zelda 2. You know, all these enemies that there's multiple ways to beat him. Like Barba, such a simple boss, but you can beat her like 4 different ways. You have RCS. I thought you were teasing me for trying to get the boss Guma down stab, and you were like, "Yeah, you'll die. You'll lose time." Remember that? But I'm glad you picked up that. Oh, he found it! Yes!
There we go.
Gotcha. I remember specifically RCS. It was you. I remember something else you said too. During that, you were like, "Yeah, Yunus does it, but he dies half the time he does it. So just doing it normal is faster." That was a few months ago when you said that, though. All right, get your glove. Do your palace. Don't pick up the P-Max! Why are you walking back? Just up an A, fool. Just up an A. Go back to Northern Palace. Unless Palace 6 is like right by Death Mountain or something. It's probably up an A. Well, it's interesting to see you taking that strategy. You know, you're willing to challenge your preconceptions to do better, to get better times. That's awesome, and that's how you're going to do awesome in this tournament. And everyone who does awesome in this tournament's got a story like that, or better. More levels, yeah. Up an A. You're so far from the. You're so far from the exit. I don't even remember the exits are. Oh, sorry. There's only one exit you can find to get out of here anyway.
Yeah, you should just do it. Like, you shouldn't even be worrying about magic jars or nothing.
Yeah. Well, we all live and learn.
Definitely, definitely.
Yeah, he should really have... Oh, he found the way out. Good, good, good. I have a hard time, you know, remembering where all the exits are after I've been in Death Mountain for a while, so I might have just been projecting a little bit of my own insecurities.
Yeah, I tried one a rando seed one time, and it was about a week ago, and I tried to do Death Mountain. I didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah, there tend to be two popular modes of thought as it comes to Death Mountain. The first is, when you find Death Mountain, check all the caves that are immediately accessible. You know, all the ones that you can get to through the overworld without having to go through the caves. Because that's something you can get done in like a minute or less. The other thought is just ignore Death Mountain and come back when you have hammer and boots. Because boots can actually be required in Death Mountain. It's not too common, but it can happen. And of course, you don't want to double dip, so having hammer is a thing.
Yeah, that's what I try to do. I try to do it without hammer.
Break those blocks, son! Break them! Minecraft the heck out of this palace. Attack 8. Barbara doesn't stand a chance. I hope.
No, he really shouldn't have a chance.
So how do you fight Barbara, Sticks?
I fight him traditional way.
No casting jump to follow him up? Just get a few hits?
I cast jump. I just one cycle him right now.
One cycle without jackhammering? That's pretty good. Although I guess, you know, vanilla, your sword level's pretty high by then, huh?
Yeah, it's level 8 by then.
Well, I guess that'll do,
886.
Yeah, one of the cool things you can do with the randomizer is, like, give yourself unlimited magic or something, and set your attack level to be really weak and your life level to be really strong instead of setting it to random. And don't take any sword level ups. So then, when you find a boss, it takes basically no damage from your sword, so you can fight them and practice them quite a while if you set up a seed like that, and you can practice tricks that way. The randomizer is pretty useful for that.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, nice. Well, with jump Canadian drop's not too bad, but oh man, when you don't have jump, you don't need the item. Yeah, this is item room. It's a little hard to tell exactly which room you are in until you get a little bit further in, but this is not a necessary thing, but here we go. Yes, we are now full Joshy D. And that's correct, right? We're full Joshy D. Interesting thing about that statue, when you see statues that you can hit and enemies can come out of, like that one, if you cast Thunder, the entity that has not spawned in yet will take damage. So if you cast Thunder a bunch of times, you can kill whatever's in there, whether it's a jar or an enemy. The things you learn while playing with Randomizer.
Wow, that's something new right there I learned.
Yeah, it's never ever going to be useful, but it's interesting. When you have super cheap Thunder, yeah. Unfortunately, if you kill it, it's not coming back. It's like it's actually dead. Yep, Anonachus. That's a great name. Yeah, the top 2 placers were top 2 overall for this weekly. And they were in Darkling's room at the same time. It was pretty cool. I'm not going to spoil it for you. I mean, I like spoiling things for people, but I'll let you go back and watch it later. Nice, Galvin. Oh, those blue iron knuckles are worth nothing. Not that it matters anymore, but... What was that, 30 experience? Can't have gone that low, so it must have been 50. Alright, we got the second ribbon. Oh, no, never mind. I'm on crack. Yeah, the loops you can get in these palaces can... Oh boy, yeah. Loops you can get in this palace and other palaces can be very frustrating sometimes if they're big enough, and especially if they use rooms that you expect to see multiples of, or similar rooms. It can get confusing, especially if your mind is kind of tired. It doesn't happen for every palace, but it can happen. It can be frustrating. Planned, like, this seed is not random. Dig Shake secretly put in this particular seed number and flag set, waiting, knowing that one day someone would suffer in Death Mountain here. Dude, you got Fire Thunder. Don't you know? Here we go! Barba! Nothing's stopping this guy now. One cool thing about Barba, I don't know if everyone is aware, Barba randomly goes in, like, rises up through one of the 3 lava pits, but if you head right and don't stop until you get to the 3rd lava pit, and you just kneel, and you don't press left ever, and you don't pause the game, he will always come up on the right, or she will. I'm sure you already knew that, those sticks.
Oh, yeah, definitely. It's a good thing to know, though.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things I even still learn, you know, just little trick.
Yep. I'm always in the position to learn something that other people are taking for granted.
I watch a lot of both Z1, or not Z1, but I watch a lot of Z2 Vanilla and Z2 Randomizer. I'm always trying to, you know, increase my knowledge of the game. Oh, he's got the double P bag.
Magic Tin hype. Don't get it! No! He's doing that to troll me now. One of the more popular flags that is not part of Swiss is randomized encounters and unsafe encounters. I don't really like it because it just doesn't make sense to be in a desert and then suddenly get an encounter and, you know, you're in a swamp. But it does add a layer of depth to the game for sure.
Yeah, and it's probably nice if you're in a swamp and you get a road encounter.
Yes, that is very nice. But it is pretty dangerous on Eastern because lava is probably not going to be lava, so you're probably going to get your lava encounters on forest or desert or something, and that means you get more lava encounters than you would otherwise expect.
Yeah, and they suck.
Yeah, they do.
Alright, he's in GP now.
We are here. Actually, I don't know if you reset before entering GP or not, but in this particular situation, you wouldn't want to reset entering GP because he had extra lives from leveling up and stuff. Well, he's got all the buffs. I don't really know if getting all the buffs is a good strat, but if you got the magic, hey. Personally, I find jump to just be distracting, but there's like that. I think the fastest strat for beating Thunderbird is you stand in the middle and you cast jump and you like you wiggle back and forth attacking, right? It's not really my thing, but you can get some pretty good kills on Thunderbird.
Yeah, I've seen some pretty amazing Thunderbird fights from many different runners. Pretty good fight though for JJ or Dr. J.
Yep, took care of that chicken pretty quick. Now to find Dark Link. Take the Eon drop when you find it. Hopefully.
I have a feeling I think he will.
I've got a good feeling too.
He seems to do stuff right in order.
Panic Dolphin? Is that what it's called? Link 7s? That Thunderbird strat? That's a great name. Take it, Dr. J. No. That's okay. He's doing the meta thing, just walking right. It's gonna be okay.
Yeah, it's not too long now.
As far as getting upstab goes, I think it's useful enough. It saves enough time in GP to prove its worth. It really helps with Focus if you end up in a situation where you have to fight them, and it can get you through waffle rooms a little bit faster, and a few of the other rooms a little bit faster. So even if you're not upstab blocked, it does pay at least some of its time back. A nice opportune jar. He's going to fill up on this one. Maybe I should make an Echo the Dolphin sprite. It just make no sense at all. Would he be flying or just like awkwardly standing on his tail?
I think it'd be pretty cool flying.
Yeah, that's probably the way it would have to be. But it'd have to be like flying up and to the right or up and to the left because he'd have to fill in the same kind of space as Link. Well, that's okay. The more awkward it looks, the better. Yeah, sometimes it is helpful. And there was a pretty good Eon drop room. Eon drop, the bridge right there, it can be pretty bad when you have mixed small and large enemies. You can have like 2 blue Focas and one of these ghost guys or a bubble and like a spicy chicken, and that can be pretty challenging to not be forced to cast fairy. But this Eon drop was pretty tame. This is another good way to kill those Focus. A little It's probably not that much slower than upstabbing. But I would never try to like man mode one of these focus. It's just not a thing.
Nah, and it's not even really worth it. They usually do so much hits of damage.
Mm-hmm.
Seemed like he had pretty low HP, or he's at attack 8, so.
Yeah, he might take a death, but I think he'll be okay. If I'm not mistaken, Fairy Room was on the way to Darklink, so if this takes him to Darklink. This is also a room that can get pretty fun, this one right here. Not so bad this time. I've seen quite a few times we get Rainbow Nights. Ah, yeah, here we go. Here's the fairy room. Yeah, being trapped in the waffle room, not comfy. Now, for players in this room that he's in right now with the giant bubbles, there is a red jar here. If you want to take the magic to cast jump, it's one of these. I think it's from the elevator. It's the first or second of the unicorn heads on the left side. Of course, it has a 50-50 chance of spawning a Foca. Unicorn head, dragon head, whatever, same thing. Oh, nope. No get out of that one. You're dead. That sucks. Yeah. He's getting a little tired. I've done that before.
Yeah, I can't blame him, you know.
Yeah, 2.5 hours is a long time to be struggling through a seed. Your brain starts to try to take the easy way out in situations, and that's usually not the best way to go.
You really gotta give him credit, though, for sticking with it.
For sure.
I would have turned it off, I know, I ain't even gonna lie.
Yeah, I have forfeited one game, and technically two. One of them was in a version, and we were all playing this weekly, and it was when he first put in the Hidden Kasuto and Hidden Palace, and there was something he didn't realize about the way that the game works yet, and nobody could get inside the Hidden Palace. So we had to forfeit that one. Every last one of us. I was afraid Yunus would find some kind of clip, some kind of something to get into that last palace, but he didn't.
Shit, if anybody could, it's him.
Yeah.
Him or Dig.
Yeah, I don't think Dig was in that particular match, but I would think. Oh no, he's back in the Eon drop. I would think that Dig would be more interested in checking out what happened, so he'd want to like end the race and go look in the code and stuff. So what happened there is the way the game works. Whatever type of encounter tile hidden town is can't be the same kind of tile that hidden palace is. So it happened to be on a forest, and because I mean the hidden town is always on a forest, so it didn't go anywhere. It has to be a different kind of tile to link anywhere. which might mean that there is a possibility of having more hidden tiles because there's more terrain.
Yeah, that's one of the first things I was worried about was hidden town with the forest tile. I didn't know if it'd be hidden with the other one.
Yeah, fortunately the randomizer does take it easy on you with like the encounter tiles. They typically put them off on their own so that they're easy to spot. If it was in like a forest of forests, that would be a pain. It would turn like a 1.5 hour seed into like a 2 hour seed or 3 hour seed.
Yep, there, and then throw Bagu in the same situation.
Yep. And could you imagine if desert item was just in the desert? Yeah, that's right. Link 7's the palace is there, but nobody was home.
Ganon forgot to leave the lights on.
Interesting thing about this game, I think technically none of the enemies in the palaces are bad guys, because the palaces are there to hold the gems until Zelda could be awakened generations later. So the bosses were put there to defend the palaces, and the enemies are put there to defend the palaces by the royal family, right? So they're not bad guys.
No, they're actually, from the stories I heard, is they're there to kill. They're trying to kill you, and if they do, they spread your blood or your ash, your something over Ganon's body, and it brings him back. That's why you see Ganon on the game over screen.
Yeah, that's what Ganon's minions are after. But we got Dark Link here. Ganon's not getting revived today.
No revivals.
Or Dark Stalfos.
That's a very interesting one. Meet your shadow.
And Zelda's gonna get the kiss of a lifetime, or the kiss of a death time. GG's to Dr. J.
GG's.
An official SRL time of 2 hours, 42 minutes, 39 seconds. You know, sometimes you get these races where just finishing is the accomplishment.
Yeah, it definitely is.
Oh,
congratulate him on sticking with it, you know, finish the seed.
Hopefully better, because I can't do much worse when the tournament comes around. Sorry, streaming on Speed Gaming 3 right now. Oh, they just finished. Okay.
And we're sounds like he's having a little conversation.
I think I might too.
Alright.
Well, so what did you think of your first commentary?
I really liked it actually. You know, it got a little easier whenever it got to 1. You know, watching 4 was a little rough. But something I'd like to do again.
Yeah, that's great to hear. Dr. J is saying that he's got to go to bed. Understandable. It's been a long night, and it's
totally
very late for people on the east.
Yeah, I'm on the east. It's 2 in the morning over here now.
Yeah. Well, I guess we should get signing off then. Let me check what's up next on Speed Gaming. All right. Let's see. Friday. It is Friday. We got some Celeste going on Speed Gaming 1. And... oh, wait. No. That's... okay, yeah, so that is it, too. It looks like we just have Celeste going on right now. Super Metroid finished already. And after Celeste, it's going to be several hours until we have a Hat in Time on Speed Gaming 1 again. So great to have you all with us. Great to be hosted by Speed Gaming. Great to have a randomizer like this to call our own and to play for all of you guys. And thanks very much for showing up. And yeah.
Yeah, thanks everybody for having me. It was fun. You know, thanks Speed Gaming for having the rando. And everybody have a good night and a good weekend.
Indeed.